Moyo Secondary School, a government-aided school in Moyo District, was expecting 200 finalists in Senior 4 and Senior 6 to return. So far, 185 have returned. 4 days after the school reopened, one of the students was confirmed to have contracted COVID-19. The tests were taken at Moyo Hospital. Frederick Wanagoli, the head teacher, says the patient is being isolated in a classroom, which also acts as her bedroom.
With the teaching, since she's in the Nile isolation room, it becomes a little tricky for a teacher too. But what we have done, we have tried to provide in the form of like notes, and where necessary, you can sit at a point and then give explanation
on why the student is not being isolated at Moyo Hospital to protect the other students she interacted with in the 4 days before she tested positive for COVID-19. Wanagoli says the case is manageable.
The contacts were all identified, and those contacts identified have had their samples taken, and as we speak, we are waiting for the results to come. But we are sure that the results might be negative.
Dr. Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, the Minister of State for Primary Health Care, who is also the District Woman Member of Parliament, says since Uganda is in stage 4 of the pandemic and contacts cannot be traced, cases are supposed to be managed within the community. This is not the first time in the country that students are testing positive for COVID-19.
Today is only one. Tomorrow we are going to get very many schools and many students getting COVID. If there are many thousands, are we going to keep them all in the hospital? That means if the school can create a separate isolation facility to manage positive cases, that is well and good. If the school cannot create that isolated places, then they have to liaise with the districts.
Moyo Secondary School does not have a fence. Not only do strangers walk in and out of the school, but students also walk out at will. There is no registration book at the entrance to record the particulars of visitors to the school. However, there is a temperature gun, and each classroom has a hand-washing point. Since the school has had to turn into a fully fledged boarding school, some former day scholars have dropped out because they cannot afford the high school fees. Previously, day scholars used to pay 160,000 shillings, but now all students must pay 320,000 shillings. The Senior 6 class has 32 boys and only 5 girls.
Actually, there are some students who have not returned back because some are saying that it is now late. It is now late. They cannot get what they want. So, and some girls got married.
Teenage pregnancy and early marriage cannot be ruled out as one of the causes of some students dropping out. Dr. Moriku says most of the blame lies with parents who do not offer guidance to their teenage daughters.
But the issue surrounding contraceptive, yes, as ministry, as government of Uganda, we tried our best to make a guideline, a policy out of it, which is still in the progress. And this policy has to involve the young people in terms of what is best for them and what is not good for them.
Since the youth are instrumental in attaining Vision 2040 and the middle income status, perhaps it's time that the government considered embracing the sexuality education framework, which includes the use of contraceptives for adolescents who cannot abstain. Gillian Nantume, NTV.